Hello, welcome to the Claret and Blue podcast. It's Monday, the 16th of March, 12:34, and we are live on YouTube. We're here today to open up the mailbag and try and work out what went wrong, John, for Aston Villa against Manchester United at Old Trafford. Now, I hope this comment was a little bit tongue-in-cheek on our Spotify feed of the post-match show, which I did with Neil. Can we have a little bit more analysis on the game itself, please, next time, gents? Which, to be fair, the post-match show is always supposed to just be vibes a little bit. How do we feel? It's very raw. It's very reactionary. It's very emotional sometimes, positive or negative. And the Q&A that we do in the week tends to be more of the balanced approach, maybe, of, okay, let's actually look at things in greater detail. Let's answer some questions. So I'll open up to you, John. Forget the how are you. Not interested. What went wrong for Villa the other day? What happened?
What went wrong for Villa? Several things, but nothing that was particularly new, to be honest. When I left Old Trafford, I didn't think, I've now discovered 5 new things that Villa are doing wrong, That doesn't mean that I wasn't concerned, but I mean, losing at Old Trafford, yeah, welcome. If you haven't done that before, you must be 1 year old. I think what went wrong specifically, if I had to boil it down to something, and again, it's nothing new. I just think we lack a lot of quality in attack. And that's quite a big thing and nothing that we can really fix right now. I do think that in the first half, we were okay. Going to Old Trafford, sometimes it does take us a little while to settle in the match. We didn't take long to settle at all, to be fair. I thought actually the first half was fine. It would have been better had we had, again, more quality in attack that we could actually hurt United. I think that they were, when I say they were there for the taking, not in the sense of we could have done them 4-0, but defensively they are vulnerable. And we exposed that maybe twice. And we need to do more of that. I think defensively we were okay in that first half. Like, you get to the break, but then you can see the set piece straight away. We obviously react well. We have shown our powers of recovery this season. A lot of the away wins we've had on the road have been from losing positions. Spurs, Chelsea, Brighton and Leeds, for example. And in those games, we've shown different elements of a team that can finish in, the top 5 positions. At the moment, we're not doing that because after we scored the goal, as Emery said, and I totally agreed with him, that we were. He said, he didn't say this literally, but he essentially said that we were too excited and that we lacked composure. And I agree with that. We don't have enough quality in the team to make those moments count. As we saw when Leon Bailey gave the ball away so cheaply. What I would say is that moments before that, he's made a good opportunity for Tammy. Tammy, however, yes, he should be doing better. But equally, I'm not going to, sit here and say that that's one of the reasons why we've lost the game. He's not sharp. He hasn't had enough minutes anyway. So I'm not going to critique him too much there. But then when we do lose the ball, United go and counter-attack and then, they turn the game back in their favour. So what went wrong? For me, it was more how we dealt with the game and managed the game in the second half. Once we equalised, that was our moment to, stay composed now. It's back on level terms. Let's try and show a bit more quality. But I just think this is nothing Man United specific necessarily. I think it just sort of exacerbated the problems a little bit, that we know that we can get this United side. They're not, in a low block and, are really frustrating us or anything like that. It wasn't that. We did have moments. Buendia picks up the ball in dangerous positions. And we do nothing with it. Rodgers is lacking form. I put a piece out earlier saying that Villa are, Rodgers has got a great or a stunning catalogue of goals this season. Villa are going to need more of them because what we're doing, we have Bailey on the right, we have Buendia on the left. We need Buendia, we need McGinn, we need these players to step up in Rodgers' absence of form. Yes, he needs to improve himself, but I feel like we're looking to him too much now. Because our strikers scored, I know he scored against Lille, but in the league, I don't know, 7 games he scored, and Watkins in 41. I think in all competitions, it's not good enough. Buendia, 1 in 10, I think it is. Rodgers, obviously, well off the mark for his own level, but we've seen him come up with moments and we know he's got it in him. But to kind of count on his ability alone, that isn't going to be sustainable. And obviously, we spoke about this when he was scoring against West Ham, when he was scoring against Leeds. Doubles there, doubles against Man United, and all top goals as well. Villa are going to need more of that, clearly, because we know we can't rely on the other options we have in attack right now. Confidence is on the floor, and yeah. So what went wrong for Man United? It's 4 minutes there, but get more so into it now.
Yeah, we're going to open up the mailbag shortly in the live chat from AXPUXTSQ1854. Catch your username. I'm here to find out what John does or doesn't like to eat. You can keep your analysis. I saw a photo of the Man United press food on our Facebook page. That was a bit personal posting, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a nice curry that they gave us. I had 2 helpings of it and was very full from the start of the game. I just finished off a spaghetti bolognese, if you must know.
What was the curry? Was it chicken, lamb?
Yeah,
vegetable?
it was just a chicken curry. I don't know what type it was or anything like that, but it was nice. It's just, would have it again.
Okay, good. Let's start in the mailbag then. From David Unsworth's Villa career. You can tell we're live because I'd have edited that out if we weren't. I'm so scarred after years of watching us lose against Man United that I never even let myself entertain the thought of getting even a point at Old Trafford. So in many ways, I'm pretty unaffected by the result. It was a loss before we'd even kicked off, in my mind. The next 6 league games will define our season, and anything less than 12 points, and we don't deserve European football at all, never mind Champions League. Which I agree with, and this is what we spoke about a little bit on the post-match show, that it's Burnley, Tottenham, West Ham, Sunderland, Forest, Fulham. There's your chance. If Villa don't finish in the Champions League from this position, it's on us, because there's some games there that Villa should be gaining points in. Tielemans comes back. McGinn clearly makes a difference. You see that when he goes off yesterday as well.
That was another problem.
I think we'll pick up points. Is it enough to outdo Chelsea? Fingers crossed, yes. We will find out in the coming weeks. What I find mad about this, Villa have won, 2 in 10 in the league, I think it is, which is a horrific run of form.
3 in 12, I think. Yeah.
Is that worse? Yeah, let's go with that.
Well, yeah.
The first 5 games, not good enough. There's 17 games there that we've not played well in, which is not a million miles off half a season. And we're still 4th. We shouldn't even be in this position now. We should have been overtaken weeks ago by all of the others. It's a miracle, I think, so far that middle of March, we're still just about hanging on. It's crazy, isn't it? No one really wants it, is what it feels like.
Well, yeah, that's the positive thing. I don't know, like, I'm not reactionary after losing to Man United. I'm just not. I'm not going to fake to be absolutely livid. We lost at Wolves. We were done by Chelsea. You go to Old Trafford, do I expect anything? No, not at all. Did I expect us to play a bit better? Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. I thought, again, in the first half, we were all right. We folded a little bit after that goal from Cunha, but I'm not shocked about any of this. What I said weeks ago was get to the international break and be in the conversation for top 5, be it in the top 5 or a point out. And that's where we are. So if you've come here to, see us be mad at it and lose our heads, I'm not going to do that, because last week I'm not going to be fake. I said, get to the international break. We need the international break. We need to reset, all those different things. Again, I think we have problems that we can't fix in this team. We can't go and buy a striker. Or not a striker. We have got a striker in Tammy, sorry. We can't buy forward players who can add to our attack. There's not enough goals in that team. From Buendia, from Bailey, from Sancho, he scored once this season. Bailey hasn't scored since Villa beat Club Brugge 3-1, which was March the 4th. That's over a year now. These are the options we're having, and I'm not surprised that we go to 3rd in the league and lose the game. Yeah, I want to see a bit more from us, and yeah, we have opportunities to do better, but that's not a shock result by any means, and I'm not going to lose my head over it. My point all along in the last few weeks, which gets the international break. You're closer to having Yuri Tielemans back, one of the best creators in the Premier League, in your team. We need that. He's got to still be probably 2nd most creative player in the team by numbers this season, even after missing the amount of games that he's missed. McGinn coming back is a massive boost, and with him on the pitch yesterday, Villa, they certainly played better than when he wasn't, and against Lille as well, we saw signs of his leadership when he came on the pitch. So those are positive things. Just get to the international break in the last 8 of the Europa League and in the top 5, again, or a point out, or whatever it may be. You're in that conversation. That is all that I need to see. And it's not that, stop watching here and don't read or listen to anything that we're going to say for the next few weeks until we play, hopefully, Roma or Bologna away. But that is kind of my point. It's not as the coming weeks are irrelevant, or the coming games are irrelevant. They're absolutely not. Of course, they're massively important. But I know that my feelings are going to be when we play Roma or when we play Forest, I'm going to feel it much more then, because I know that, okay, so this is now the running. This is us, we've had the 2-week break or whatever to refine what we're doing, and for Emery to regain a structure tactically and find out exactly what he wants to be doing in the next few weeks. Right now, we're not in that position. It's Lille and then it's West Ham, and important games, but where Villa will be when they play Nottingham Forest, I don't think will look a whole lot different whether they win or lose to West Ham. And I know that sounds a bit mad because it literally could be, 6 points or something to Chelsea. But the point being that we're still going to feel the same. We're still in the race for top 5. If we win these amount of games, that's it. I mean, the target doesn't change,
Yeah, I haven't put a points target on what Villa need. I spoke in the post-match a little bit of, somebody kind of said, we needed to win 6 in 15, then 6 in 14, then 13, and now it's 6 of 8. I'm not sure we need to win 6 of 8. We need to just match Chelsea. If they win 4, we need to win 4. Right? Because I think it is between us or Liverpool. Yeah. So match them. We get Champions League. I say it's as simple as that. I know it isn't that, but let's just boil it down to that for now.
It is though. That is it.
But I'm not putting a wins target or a points target on how Villa look from here. But if I was to do that, I'd have put 0 next to Old Trafford. So we've got what I expected. So I'm now going to come on here, and I didn't the other night, and say, well, that's top 5 because we lost there, because I thought we'd lose anyway. Yeah. I want to kind of flip to the other side. Now, I think we often get criticism for we're in our own little bubble, right? And we think Emery's this, and we think Morgan Rogers is that, and we kind of maybe don't look outside of that, which I don't think is true, because I think we look at different opinions from time to time, but we probably don't go to this extreme. Now, I think this is an extreme. What I will say, before I tee this up, is in the comments on YouTube, Spotify, wherever else, social media, on our podcast, people say that's not the be-all and end-all, but that's the little kind of community we have. There was more like Unai out stuff, or Unai's run his course, or he's taken Villa as far as he can. That narrative, there was more of that post Man United than there has been all season, right? So there are X% of people out there that feel that way. I don't, and I can tell by your face, John, you don't either. And there'll be loads of people listening going, you're mad. I don't think that either. Emery, I changed loads of things before I'd change Emery. But I don't want to be accused of not looking at that side of the argument. So, from Andy, like I said 4 weeks ago, I can't see us winning another Premier League fixture. Unai is absolutely the issue. A con artist. Stop with the blind faith. Now, let me remind you, we are still 4th. We've been in Europe for 3 years in a row. I think we'll be in Europe again for a 4th year in a row. I'm not going to talk about the rules. I don't think we've spent money very well, but we have our hands tied by the rules to an extent. Unai out stuff, I think it's crazy. And I said a few weeks ago I would change the entire squad before I'd change Unai Emery, right? And maybe that's too far the other way. And there will come a point, there does with every single manager, where maybe they have run their course and it does need fresh ideas, and maybe it gets a bit stale or whatever. I think we go back to mid-table obscurity at best if we sack Unai Emery now. This idea that sack him now and try and save the season, someone else can come in and get fit. I personally think that's miles off it, but this is a podcast for everybody, and I'm putting that opinion out into the world, whether people agree with it or not.
Yeah, I disagree if that's the point that's been raised, but you're right. I think it's fair to raise different opinions, I guess. The way I would tackle that would just be Emery is obviously part, or how do you put this? He has to take his part of the blame as well, his portion.
Of course,
yeah. And that's something that, I think almost every Villa fan will say. Emery will say it himself. He even says after some games that he's made mistakes or whatever it may be. In terms of blind faith to players, I think that's something else that you could bring up, as we've said before. I think, again, it's a lot of your, like Unai, probably too wedded to Ollie Watkins. You don't criticise him. We've said, you don't have to kind of keep saying it, but Tammy should have played instead of Watkins in recent games. There's nothing really else to say apart from that. We agree. I agree. He did score against Lille, though, so I don't think anyone was surprised that he started against United. But that I do think has probably cost us in some games in recent weeks more than others. But, Villa do this thing where they are one of the best teams in the league and one of the worst by results in a season. It's really bizarre, and I boil it down to a lot of it yeah, I do think his confidence. I look at our team and we have some good players. We do, like, of course we do. We're 4th in the league. You don't get there from having an average group. But equally, we do have some average players still. Players who we were happy to sell months and months ago, a year ago. You know, this is not a... Again, I think we have to look at we can look in the details, but the wider picture is a lot of our players don't get in the teams who we're competing with. We're at a disadvantage with spending. And yes, we could have spent money better, but geez, we don't have the luxury of spending £70 million. And then when that player fails, spend another £70 million after spending £140 million on Buendia and Acuna. We don't have that luxury. We have the Man United scraps, Jadon Sancho, Liverpool scraps, Harvey Elliott. And you can say, well, don't sign them if they're not good enough. I understand that. But these are the frees and the loans that we were scrambling around for because we didn't have the luxury to spend the money that other teams do. And that's that. I'm not going to talk about the rules anymore, but we have to understand.
We're going to talk about recruitment on a separate episode as well.
Yeah, because it's worth its own time. And again, that needs to be better. But our mistakes can't be rectified. They live with us. Gesson's mistake. You bring Bailey back because that's all you can do if you want to get money for Gesson and not let him sort of wither away. And that's just a depreciating asset. But the point on Emery, yeah, he shoulders part of the blame, but come on, like, what manager is going to get the best out of Bailey and Buendia on a consistent basis to the point where we're doing better than being in 4th on March the 16th with 8 games remaining? The position we're in, brilliant. It's just all about momentum, and that's perspective with football, how we view football and where Villa are. We are talking negatively and we are looking at this, without smiling because of momentum. This is it, right? If we were in this position, had we won the last 5, we'd be saying, this is brilliant, we're attacking the season. And that isn't the case. So this is why we are talking like we're talking, and that we're concerned that, yeah, we can drop out. But we've been in these positions before where we do pick it back up. And again, for me, I think if that's going to happen, that's going to be after a reset of the international break. And people were saying, well, how can you guarantee that? I can't guarantee it, but what are we going to do? Just say we're going to lose the last 8 games and give up? It's that's not something that this team has done before. And as fans, we know that we've, again, been in difficult positions last season as well, when we were, 11th or something after that Palace defeat. And we win like 8 of the next 10 before Man United. This isn't a terrible position. It will just feel like failure should we drop out of the top 5 from here. But Liverpool fans and Chelsea fans are telling you exactly the same thing. They both don't think they're going to do it either. And they're in a desperate position as well.
2 of us are going to do it. It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
We had when we did the Villa Social last week, Rob Jones from Sky came on and he said about the kind of point of momentum that, so there you won 3 in 12 and you didn't win in the first 5. So in that period, you've had an average to poor 10, 11 games, maybe a pretty good, brilliant 10 games or so, and then an average 10 or 8 or however many the rest of it works out to be. If you'd have had a more consistent through line across the season of, maybe win 2, lose 1, win 2, lose 1, and that got you to where Villa are now, you, as you say, John, would be going, we've had a pretty good season, haven't we? Like, we win a few and we lose every so often, but we win a few more, and then we've built ourselves up to 5th or 4th or wherever. We got 3rd this week and then we're back down again. You'd feel more consistent about it because you've been so terrible and then so good and then so terrible again. It feels disjointed.
And on that as well, I don't want to rewrite history or, think about how we should have felt, But when we were 10 or 11, 12 points clear or whatever it was, I think we view that as I can't believe we've bottled that, or I can't believe we've thrown that away. And yeah, it does feel bad. But I do think you can flip it and say, we were that far ahead with this group of players, minus Tielemans, and obviously McGinn's just come back. So firstly, we knew there was going to be a drop-off in form. But also, the fact that we were that far ahead, we should probably just be praised for that.
Well, this is the thing, right? We
have to look at it as like we're in a title race, but we're not anymore, and we've blown it. And maybe we are the 5th best team in the league. Maybe we're the 6th best team in the league. Maybe we're the 7th. Maybe this is what we are. We were doing great. let's applaud that we were doing great. And then, the last few weeks haven't been good. No one's saying that they have. But at the same time, if we just leveled out to a point where we are probably the 5th or 6th best team in the league, I think that's probably fair. Don't you? Again, with the options that we have in the team, we've lost our best midfielder.
Our worst team is nowhere near good enough to finish top 10, I don't think.
No.
Like how poor we can be. We're a bottom half team at best on our off days, right? We're really poor sometimes. But this group of players plus Tielemans was title winning level at one stage. So I still think, and there's loads of questions in the mailbag. There must be 50 comments since full time last night, and I'm sure everyone can understand we can't do them all. But there are lots that kind of suggest that how can the injuries have had such a problem? And we spoke about it since they've happened. They're great players, and we all know that. But as I've said every single week since we've been crap, the players that are there have to do better. If they're still being picked, they have to be better. Esri Konsa's not played well for weeks, but he was part of that 11-game winning run. Luca Dean's not been good for a few weeks. He's been part. These same players were part of those runs as well. They have to have stepped up their game, and it's on them that we've not been good. Not those two specifically. The whole group hasn't been good enough for 8 weeks or wherever we are. Just to go back to Andy, and I don't want this to be between you, me, and Andy because there's lots of people watching, and we're going to get to more comments in a sec. He says, "Okay, does your opinion change if we don't finish top 5 and don't win the Europa League, given the position that we were in regards to change in Unai Emery?" No. If we finish 6th and lose to Lille next week, I'd still keep Emery for next season.
Yeah, of course. He's the best manager in my lifetime. No, he's... Yeah, of course you can criticise him, but there's no better...
We have been for weeks.
I think it's mad that we have to say that, okay, what manager's going to do better right now with this group of players?
And one will, John, one will. Somebody will do better because that's the way football works, but it's
not with this group of players.
It's such a massive roll of the dice, though.
No, it's not even... I don't think it's worth... I get it. I understand criticism, but it's... I'm kind of lost for words a little bit. We're 4th in the Premier League, where this is as good as it's been for, how many years?
And we could still finish 5th in the trophy, by the way. Like the season, people talk about the season in 10 years, we're already out of the competitions.
In 10 years, we could look very stupid. Looking back on 10 years, thinking, do you remember we were in the Champions League? Do you remember we were finishing 4th, competing, winning or trying to win trophies? Who knows what the next 10 years will be? Let's just enjoy it. And the last few weeks haven't been great, but I don't think we need to be questioning the whole project. I think that's above and beyond. Just the last sort of point on that you mentioned there about the midfield and why, how can we not cope with them? Our attack was never firing on all cylinders, even when we were going through that long run of winning games. You win 11 games at home. Is it 11 in all comps as well, home and away? Rodgers, again, was bailing us out of some of those games. Again, a couple of goals in some matches, Man United, West Ham, Leeds. Watkins has scored in 7 games in 41 appearances. If you take out Tielemans, McKinnon, Kamara, it goes without saying there's going to be a drop in form. I think we probably expected some of the players to step up a bit, but equally, there's no... I don't know. This is no major shock to me that we can lose to Chelsea and that we can lose to Man United without those players. Losing to Wolves was a bad one, and there's no excuse in that, and that's why we were livid about it. And we did a podcast after and gave Villa no excuse. But we know what we are, and this season, that winning run, I don't think the performances have been that drastically different. I genuinely don't. The difference is that you have Yuri Tielemans in your team, you have Kamara, you have Megan, you have Morgan Rodgers in form. Take all of that away, we ain't beating Man United away. We're not beating Chelsea. We're not, and those things have happened. So again, I'm not massively surprised. Get to the international break, regroup, go again. That would be my sort of message, especially because Liverpool are hardly have hardly taken advantage of our form. Chelsea as well. They go and beat us 4-1, but fail to beat Burnley at home and lose to Newcastle. This should be encouragement for us that we can still finish 4th, let alone finish in the top 5. And I don't know. Maybe these things are just sort of hard to hear. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe people want us to, or want the kind of we're going to fail. I don't know if that's what we want to hear, but I don't. We can't say that right now, can we? Yeah, it doesn't look promising, but the season's far from finished. There's such a long way to go this season. I keep saying it, and it's true. It's such a long way to go this season. It really is.
There's a few comments that seem to be suggesting that we're like excusing our bad form. I don't know. Maybe what I'm saying and what you're hearing is two different things. I'm not excusing the form at all. We've not been.
What do you mean by excusing the form?
That like we're overlooking how bad it is because our Telemans will be back soon.
No, we're saying
we
it's
know
bad,
this is terrible. Yeah,
but at the same time, we're not going to say, or I'm not. You say what you want, Dan. For me, the last time Villa played to a decent level for a full 90 minutes was probably Newcastle. We're aware this is bad. Yeah, it's bad form, but I'm not massively surprised that we've had a drop off. Is the season finished? Like, no, of course it isn't.
I've been saying that for a long time. Dimension Shift in the live chat says, everyone thinking a 31-year-old McGinn coming back will be some kind of miracle are also wrong. It'll take him 4 games to get back up to speed. And even then he gets hooked on 60 minutes because he's gassed. I think he's already back up to speed. Like, the plan will be to play him for an hour. That's fine.
He was never going to get more than an hour.
Because that's not the right change at that position, right? John McGinn is still somebody you want on the pitch, but it's not a coincidence he comes off bang on the hour. Like, that's just the plan at the moment. He'll probably play a little bit longer against West Ham, and if that sees us over the line and we win the game, do you know what I mean? Like, these things are. It sounds very obvious, but if we'd have beaten Man United and he came off on the hour, we'd all be going, "Oh yeah, that's fine."
I did say when the night before McGinn came back into the team, I said I hope that we don't get comments about, well, we all thought McGinn was going to change the season. I think he was one of the main reasons why we managed to see out a 1-0 against Lille, and for 60 minutes we were decent against Man United. And without him, we may not have beaten Lille, and I think we would have definitely lost against United. But yeah, he's had minor knee surgery 6 weeks ago. He's going to be tired. I don't have any concerns about him though for next week or after that.
Okay, let me try and scroll through the mailbag then and find something. I should have gone through these before, but I thought I'd do it live because that might be better. Steve, I can't remember the last time we gave an opposing goalkeeper a hard time over 90 minutes. A lack of crosses, shots, set pieces, it's all too easy. I'm all for the possession-based football at times, but sometimes Route 1 as an alternative has got to be a better option. Yeah, completely agree. We said, didn't we, after the Lille game, the goal comes from trying something different. A long ball to Buendia, who has got no right to win the header. Watkins lobs the keeper with a header. That goal shouldn't really happen. Do you know what I mean? Like, on paper, that shouldn't be allowed to happen that way. No. But it's through the route of trying something different. I completely agree about kind of like peppering a goalkeeper and making their life difficult. Our set pieces, first man or overhit every single time, it feels like. Defending set pieces, which is not what this comment is, but you're playing the likes of Onana and Mings and then get beaten by a near post header against Man United. Like, again, that shouldn't really be happening. But we don't give teams full stop difficulty when we don't play well. I think it's not just about the goalkeeper. You see games where we hardly get a minute to breathe when we get closed down by everybody, and then we let people to kind of just do what they want. It feels like we don't try and make life difficult for anybody ever.
Yeah, again, I think that's part of quality in attack. It's partially also the way that we build up and the structure that we're in, because it is controlled. It is, it is not back to front in the space of 2 passes. I think maybe that is part of the players that we have as well. Maybe Emery, is building in a certain way because he knows we don't have enough quality to do a certain action in the final third to unlock a defence, possibly. But yeah, he does need to find solutions, because although Tielemans will be back in April at some stage, we've got really important games before that. So he's gonna have to find something in this international break. Something this afternoon would be great for Lille and then West Ham as well. But yeah, you're right. We don't pepper teams. We don't threaten. But equally, the kind of counter to that would be, if we did that, we're going to probably be left wide open, and don't defend transitions well whatsoever. Man United, they had a couple of transitions yesterday and scored from them. Chelsea as well.
This is the frustration of the style of play for me.
And I think it probably lends itself a little bit to what we're going to talk about in a different podcast of the ageing squad that we have too. we're not quick. We are probably the slowest team in the league. That team that played yesterday, I mean, which player there would you say? And this is very basic. Who
would win a race?
Which player is quick?
Nobody is pacey for sure.
No one's going to stretch a defence with their pace. Or Watkins can run a channel, but even then,
it's not particularly quick, is it? He's definitely lost a yard as well, 100% this season.
Yeah, I just don't think we're very dynamic. I don't think we can threaten a team like we want. We saw 23-24 season when it was Bailey and Diaby both kind of off that right side, and there was problems for a defence then, and that threatens teams. Pace threatens. That's like the oldest cliche in football. Defenders don't like defending against pace. I don't think we bring that. Yeah, no, and it's true. It's true. Everything we do is usually played in front of the opponent. So we can go into different reasons of why Villa have struggled. Villa also lacked pace when they won 11 games in a row. True, but then what were the reasons for that? So again, I just think we've leveled out. We talk about a lot how, we're lacking quality in attack. We don't have much pace. We're missing our midfielders. We can't spend too much money. Is this a surprise then? Why we've fallen away from 3rd to 4th? There's very little that we say that's positive about how we're playing at the moment and what flexibility we may have. It's all pretty negative, yet we're surprised that there's a drop-off. If there was a simple solution to all of these things, I'd understand it then and we were still losing games because it was, the only kind of solution that I hear is, why isn't Tammy playing instead of Ollie Watkins? And I agree, he should have. Equally, I don't think that means that you beat Chelsea or that even that you beat Wolves, because it's the overall display that we showed in those games, especially the Wolves one, that was alarming, I just think we almost give lots of reasons of why we're not playing to a level that is warranting finishing 4th in the league. But what's again, Sancho scored 1 goal this season. Bailey hasn't scored for a year. Buendia has played his part this season, but there's no other option for when he isn't playing well to come in and affect a game. Rodgers needs quality around him, and we can't rely on him all the time. Your striker isn't scoring goals. You're without your 3 best midfielders. For me, this is pretty gets international break, try and go again. And if we don't get in the Champions League, that will feel like a failure because of where we were. But are Villa the 4th best team in the league? They're the 5th best team in the league. At one point this season, probably. But it didn't take much for those teams beneath us to suddenly go on a run of form because of the flexibility that they have that I mentioned previously.
You're right, though, and people, if they could be asked, could go back to old episodes on that winning run. And I remember saying things like, does anyone actually feel like we're playing well? We're winning games, but we haven't really clicked yet. So even all the stuff about long-range goals, and this isn't sustainable, and which turns out that was true. It wasn't sustainable to score from long range every time. However, we don't even shoot anymore. Full stop. You're not going to score if you don't shoot. There's another cliche for you.
It's not a... I say it wasn't sustainable in the way that we were doing it all the time. When we were saying we have to find another solution to scoring goals and making chances, because teams will wise up to this. It is the case of shutting down space or closing down space when Rodgers, Reece James man-marking Morgan Rodgers when he played against Chelsea. There's ways that you can combat that. But then obviously that leaves space for other players and it allows you to do other things in the final third. But we're not exploiting them because, again, I just think we're lacking quality. The level of players that we're coming up against of our rivals, it's Cunha going through one opportunity in the back of the net, Sesko off the bench, goal. Casemiro scored 6 goals from set pieces this season. That's mad. That's probably our top scorer. It's even Garnacho gets pelted from Chelsea fans, skinned our team.
Yeah.
Garnacho would probably be a bit of a godsend for us if we were allowed to spend that money in the summer to get him. That's what we need. We need pace. We need players to frighten the defence. We need players to stretch the defence. But we don't have that. And again, I'm not complaining as like feel sorry for Villa. I think our recruitment, and we said this back in the summer, we need more pace. We need more goals. I remember doing a lap of a field in Nashville saying that I don't like that Ollie Watkins and Morgan Rodgers are our only goal scorers in this team. We go and sign Guess on and it didn't work out.
Yeah, I remember that.
But how many times did we say before the end of the summer window closing, we need pace in this team. We go and get Sancho and Elliott, and we said that is still the concern. We don't have pace. We're not having teams being frightened by those players necessarily, and that's been proven even more so because Elliott didn't get a kick. So yeah, recruitment hasn't been good enough. and then we kind of say, well, this is not all on Emery, but Emery then shoulders a lot of it because we're not playing to a certain level. He can only work with the tools that we've got, and he needs better ones in the summer.
Yeah. You mentioned about style of play before and how it's slow and it's controlled and it's methodical and everything else, and we all want to see gung ho attacking football, and that's just not Villa.
Until it don't work.
Full stop at the moment.
Until it don't work.
What the concern for me with that though is that Emery's not stupid, right? We're playing this way for a reason. Yeah. If we committed to be that gung ho team that left space everywhere, you think we're bad at the moment? We'd be shipping goals 5 and 6 every week. Because we can't defend those moments. You mentioned it before, that defensive transition of as soon as someone gets us on the counter and we're backpedaling, we're done.
Yeah, if you want to...
Maybe that's an aging squad, maybe it's legs gone, maybe it's confidence, lack of position, poor decision-making, giving the ball away cheaply, individual mistakes. The list goes on and on and on for Villa's deficiencies. But if Villa go gung-ho and leave space, you're talking about winning 3 in 12, it's winning 3 in 38.
Well, I don't know. I get what you're saying.
I'm making a laboured point, but you get the point.
Yeah.
If we commit to being more energetic, we might score a couple, but we'll concede 5.
We saw this yesterday, and this is again why I said from the top that I agree with Emery when we said we lack composure, because he knows if it's a basketball game with Man United, we're losing. They have more quality than Aston Villa. It's true, and it's annoying why, but it's true. Again, Bailey makes the chance for Tammy. We don't take it. Moments later, Bailey loses the ball. United go up the end and score. That's that. You're 2-1 down. Sesko off the bench goal. We don't have the quality again for me to play that brand of football, and that isn't going to change. It's not in Emery's way to change that structure. And by the way, again, the structure that he puts in place at Villa is the reason, or a main reason, why we've picked up the 4th most points since he's been in charge. And again, that includes bad runs and good runs, and bad runs and good runs. We rarely, as we said before, we don't win 2, draw 1, lose 1, win 2, draw 1, lose 1. It's usually win 5, and then go on a bit of a dip, and then win 5 again. Yeah, but over the course of, got 100th win the other day, fastest manager to get that since, I don't know, was it George Ramsey maybe? Yeah, what he's given in to the team, again, that structure is something we have to build off. All the managers say that, and especially in Europe, whenever I ask them about Villa, and I only ever talk to opposition managers before a game in Europe, but they always say that we know exactly what we're going to get from Villa and how to prepare for them. And that partly worries me, but then we go and win 7 of 8 games in European football because we have better players, and that individual quality does count, of course, in football, to the point where you can prepare to play a team, but you can't stop, i.e., kind of the best case example, Iron Robben scoring with his left foot. You know exactly what he's doing. You ain't going to stop it. Yeah. The difference with Villa, Leon Bailey's not Iron Robben. We know that. But he wasn't that 23-24 season, to be fair. But the point I'm trying to make is that we're playing a rigid structure, and that will work if you have the right quality and there's confidence, and that players feel, again, that confidence. We don't have that. We're very limited at the moment, and the kind of fine margins of playing in that structure and getting results with the opposition knowing how to prepare for you. Yeah, and that's why people will probably be saying, well, we need to change it then. But it's not going to happen. It's just not maybe without a pre-season, but not right now.
Okay, I'm going to go back into the mailbag here. You know how this works, John. I bold a lot of the ones that I want to use. I've got about 15 here that are in bold, and we've been going 40 minutes. So I do apologise for all those that have been sent in that we're not going to answer. But I did read them before we started, and I'm trying to kind of talk about things that I think people want to talk about. So hopefully people think I'm doing a good job. From Lance. John previously said Rodgers was better than Buendia the last few games. Buendia over the last 5 has averaged higher ratings than Rodgers based on whoscored.com. No, Buendia has the highest goal. You okay there, John?
No, sorry. I nothing against who scored, but I'm not basing No, I don't. That probably sounds bad. It's not. I don't mean it like a. But it's true. Like, I think. Yeah, we can't base it just on that. But go on.
Okay. Buendia has the highest goal contributions per 90, and without him, we probably wouldn't even be top half, let alone top 4. It feels like our attack right now is reliant on Buendia as everyone else is faltering. Buendia has been incredible this season, but he can't do it on his own. At what point do we expect more from Bailey, Watkins, Abraham, none of whom are pulling their weight? Go on then. This one mentions your name, so you talk about Buendia.
No, yeah, I don't think the attack relies on Buendia. I think it relies on Rodgers. We've seen Rodgers produce the moments to win us those games. And yes, Buendia's scored against Arsenal, scored against Feyenoord, scored against Spurs. Like you said it almost in every episode. I think he's having the season of his life to that respect. But at the same time, Morgan Rodgers is a better player than Emi Buendia. He is. And we need more from both players. I don't want to single one out and say everybody. But just in terms of the comparison, and this was the good thing early this season when Rodgers wasn't playing well, and we were saying he'll be fine eventually. He's going for a bad run, but it's exacerbated because we know how good he is, and we're giving him flack. By the way, no one's contributing. No one has scored apart from Harvey Elliott, and even then tried his best not to score against Brentford. But Buendia produced those moments, didn't he? Against Fulham, come off the bench and played well. McGinn, being the captain, he has scored against Bologna, scored against Feyenoord, Buendia Feyenoord. Marlon against Burnley. Villa don't have Marlon anymore. Buendia isn't scoring anymore. McGinn has just come back, and Rodgers isn't scoring anymore. Again, Bailey ain't scored for a whole year. There's other players in this team. Luiz scored his first goal in 64 games against Chelsea. We all need to be contributing here. We just look to Rodgers because we know that he is our best attacker. He is technically all of it. He is. I understand that people rate Buendia probably more than other people. It's a bit of a kind of hot topic sometimes, but we can't be relying on Emi Buendia to be ripping us up. Ripping up the form book and dragging us out of this hole. I hope he does, and we need him to do better. Equally, we need Rodgers to do better. It's a team effort. I don't want to kind of be comparing the two too much. But the reason why I said Rodgers was better than Buendia was because that's what I believed in. I think Rodgers is a better player, and the level he's shown in recent games, you're splitting hairs here. But I think it's still probably better than what Buendia has produced in the final third when he turns and has pockets of space to go into. I still think Rodgers is capable of being that player for us in the final part of the season. But at the same time, if that's what we're pinning our hopes on, Rodgers producing some big moments, that's not going to end well. But then I do look around and think, well, maybe we do have to hope for that. Because that's what was happening in that 11-game run. Yeah, we were winning games without Rodgers, absolutely. But without his contributions this season, and Buendia too, would be much further down that league table.
It's a good comment there from James that's just popped in that says the players bounce off each other. So collectively, if we aren't playing well, it rubs off on one another. Everybody says don't play X, Y, or Z, but if you don't play them, we won't play an 11. Yeah. We spoke about this.
Lack of leadership, those.
Yeah, but in regards to injuries and stuff as well, that like these players have to do better. But if a couple of players aren't playing well enough, probably is leadership actually, because somebody should step up and get that player out of a hole.
Which is why we look at Morgan Rodgers, I think, a lot, because we know he's capable of doing that.
Yeah. So if he's not doing it as well, and the other players maybe know they're not as good as him. Oh, if he's not doing it, I'm not doing it. Oh, we're in trouble here.
Possibly, but that's why I think it's a bit unfair. Because we want more from Morgan Rodgers, but he's like 23. He's one of our younger players. We have an aging squad, but we're lacking leadership without McGinn.
Yeah,
it's not good enough.
There's a couple on Rodgers in the mailbag. One from Alex, first of all, says, am I the only one who thinks Rodgers looks completely lost? We are relying on... Oh no, I've pressed the wrong button. I've deleted it. We're relying on him for a moment of magic. He, like the rest of the team, has been way off it for a while, but the lad needs help from those around him.
Yeah.
No, you're not the only one. We completely agree. And
imagine putting Rodgers in... Sorry, Dan. Put him in that Man United team yesterday. Put him in a team that's playing, confidently, or just simply with better footballers. Rodgers would be much better for that as well.
Yeah.
And some people say, oh yeah, you say that for Buendia or say that for Bailey. But I don't think they have the base quality that Rodgers has. And
agreed.
I just don't, and that's my opinion.
Yeah, that's not anti the other players. It's pro Rodgers, isn't it? He's that level.
Yeah,
it's not all about transfer fees, but he's worth a lot more. His value is higher. He's the ceiling is higher. Everything. Who's the other one? Chris. Sorry, I just whacked my mic. Chris, Morgan Rogers looks like he's playing already knowing he could be a financial sacrifice this summer. Same drop-off happened to Dougie 2 years ago. But I remember speaking about this last year as a theory with you. I don't know if you remember, of like Douglas Luiz last year, he fell off a cliff and he ended up leaving. If a player falls off a cliff now, could they be the one that leaves? It is a potential theory if they know if their agent is touting a deal and the beginnings of I'm moving to London in the summer or whatever, it's in your head. Does that affect their performances? Maybe. I don't know. I just think, and this is such a cop out, I think we're in such a bad patch. We just overthink everything. Is Morgan Rogers playing poorly because he knows he's going to Liverpool in the summer? Yeah, maybe that does happen. But is that the reason? I don't know. Can we just be? Can I just? This sounds so reductive. We're just crap. Can we just say they're crap? And that's that.
Is that it?
No, but do you know what I mean? Like, does there have to be some bigger picture? Like, we're just gonna have really poor run of form at the moment, and sometimes
I don't want to say that we're. I want to say our form is crap. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. But this is
like, Unai had his head turned by this. No, we're just in a bad moment. Like,
I just think it's kind of what I said from the top. We're missing and I still count as missing Miggin because it's not the full version of Miggin that we need. We're missing our three best midfielders. We have or don't have that much quality in attack. Whether that's our fault or not, we don't. That's the fact right now. And that alone is a reason to suggest that finishing outside the top 5 is not inconceivable. And that, again, recent form shouldn't be a major shock. It's not good, and there's no, dressing it up. But this is it. You can kind of go around the houses and talk about every other detail and why is this player not playing well. But I get it. I just think get to the international break. The 6 games that we've got, as you say, they're going to be hard games. West Ham, scrapping. Forest is scrapping.
If they go up 1-0, it's going to be a low block for 90 minutes and we'll struggle against that.
Yeah, but equally, we're scrapping. Because we're scrapping now for Champions League. We need to show fight.
Are we, though? Are we scrapping?
No. But that's my point. We need to show that we're scrapping. We are in a scrap. We know we are. You know what I'm trying to say there. But the point is, 6 teams in the bottom half of the table. That isn't a call to say, we've got a great chance of winning those games. It's not. But I'd rather play them than play Man United and play.
Funny how this works, isn't
Chelsea.
It was only a few weeks ago we were saying, well, we play better against the good teams.
Oh, no, true. No, I absolutely understand that. But at the same time, in the kind of the second point to that is that we know that Chelsea play Man United and Man City. Liverpool still have Chelsea to play. Those fixtures will be helpful for us. We're not playing our rivals. We're playing teams who I think that we can get a decent points haul against, and now we have to just show that. And again, it's almost like a bit of a mini season because it's such a short amount of games. But it's like a little mini period in the campaign where this is us now after the break.
Yeah.
8 games left. Attack it.
It's still on us. It's still in our hands.
That's where my focus, which sounds mad, my focus should be Lille and West Ham, and it obviously is. But my overall focus of where our league season, at least, is going to be won or lost. It's then. Yeah. We could lose 4-0 to West Ham, and I'd be saying exactly the same thing. I'd be blooming worried. But it's the same thing. No, it's the same thing, though, isn't it? That is our group of players for that 8 games. Nothing's going to change.
Yeah. I agree. Are we pinning all our hopes on Youri Tielemans coming back to put our season on track? What happens if he doesn't? Would we be happy with Europa League again? Says Bruno Fernandes, dentist. Yeah. I said this a couple of weeks ago. My crumb of comfort, if you want to call it that we might still be okay and we might still win the Europa League and we might still finish top 5 is John McGinn and Youri Tielemans coming back and being good.
Because it has to be, because they're, again, it's not a player who could make an impact. They're 2 of our best players, and I do think we overlook that a little bit. We've lost the player that we say is the most underrated player in the world, and Boubacar Kamara. He's gone. He's not playing for us again this season. Tielemans and McGinn. We have lost those players, and we say, you need to make up for them. In an ideal world, yes, but very few people thought that we were going to do that. Can you cope and get over the line against Wolves? Yeah, you should be able to do that still.
Yeah.
But you were always going to have a drop-off. And I'm glad that the drop-off hasn't meant that we're falling out of the top 5. And we may still be in there. I'd like to think so anyway, for the international break. Again, 8 games after that, McGinn will be fully fit then. Hopefully no more injuries. And Tielemans won't be far behind. And that is the positive conversations we can be having, Other teams don't have that. Chelsea could be without Caicedo for 2 matches if he picks up another booking in the next couple of games or so. That means that he could only play 4 or 5 games of the remaining season. He's one of their, if not their best player. We don't have that sort of feeling unless it's an injury, and touch wood that doesn't happen. But we've been hamstrung massively in different senses. Yet here we are still in that position. We've lost our lead. We all know that. But the last 8 games are there for us to attack. And again, there's nothing in me to suggest that, oh yeah, we're going to lose 4 of those games, and then come the last 3 games of the season, it'll be done, it'll be finished. I think that's just being negative. Yeah, that could happen, but we don't know that it will, Recent results is not an indicator of the next results. It's not, because if that's the case, we would have won the league. We won 11 games in a row. No one expected us to then go on this form as bad as it's been, even with the injuries. We said exactly the same last season. Are we going to get in Europe at all? You'll be knocking on the door on the final day of the season with Champions League, and this is why I say it's such a long way of the season to go. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point with the final day, wasn't it? It was just a point. That's all you needed on that final day. We'd done so well in that 8-game spell to win. Was it we won 8 and 10? Was it in that running last year?
8 and 10 before Man United, and of course it was pretty much the last kick against City, wasn't it?
Yeah. So you get all that way. You put all that hard work in to get there. Villa put all their hard work in on that 11-game winning run to get here. You now just need to do a little bit more to get over the line. I mean, the kind of reaction to, basically, if you boil it down to, will Villa finish in the top 5, yes or no? If you say yes, you're deluded, you're arrogant. How can you think that? We're 18th in the form table. If you say no, it's, come on, lads, still be positive. 8 games to go, 24 points to play for. It's so like one way or the other. It's quite funny, really. And we said it on the post-match show that the comments that you can see on the screen, if you're watching, 2 came in literally next to each other of the season's over, and then still points to play for, still a chance. Like, we still might win a trophy this year. Like, it's so like flip-flops one way or the other. I've said before, I have to just go with the positive one. I can't live in, it's the middle of March now, I can't live the next 2 months going, you know what, Villa might lose every single game and Emery might get sacked and Rodgers might leave. And I can't get into that I can't live in that space. Like, with this, maybe this is different for those listening. This consumes us. This is part of our job, right? I can't go down that tunnel of this is the end of the world and it's a disaster. What if we beat West Ham and Forest and Sunderland? And I don't know if that's the next 3, they're 3 of the next 6. What if we win 3 in a row? And everyone go, that's when people start to talk, he's deluded, win 3 in a row. Yeah, I don't think that now. But every new game is a new opportunity for points. What if Villa did win 3 in a row? Us doing these massive hour-and-a-half long debriefs. What a waste of time, because Villa won a couple of games. We beat West Ham and Chelsea lose, the gap opens up again. What's to worry about? Do you know what I mean? It's still, as you say, there's loads to go. Andy says, give it another 4 weeks. Yeah, exactly. That's the point, though. If in another 4 or 5 weeks we still haven't won a game, that's when the narrative changes. But until it does change, I'm still going to believe.
I'm neither here or there. I'm not absolutely confident we're going to get top 5. And I'm not absolutely confident that we're going to fall out of the top 5 because we have 8 games. But it's not. We have 8 games remaining. Like this, I don't know. There's no definitive answer that you can give right now. There just isn't. And I say that for both sides. If you think we're going to get top 5, that's probably, as but like the point I'm trying to make, right? People say, "Oh, the season's over. We're not going to get it now." You simply don't know that. You just don't. Villa again have been the 4th best team in England since Emery came in, and that's a big sample size. Plus, when did they last fall out of the top 5 in the division this season? I don't know. I can't remember. I have no idea. We've seen a lot more than good than bad under Emery, right? Again, although we can show signs of being the best team in the league and one of the worst within the space of weeks, 8 games remaining. 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 8 games remaining that doesn't mean that we've been the 10th best team and we're a mid-table side because we win one and lose one and win. It's actually much more that we do win. We just, again, after the break, we're just going to have to show that once more. I'm seeing more signs to be positive because at the end of the day, even if we were to finish 6th, that would be crushing and a big blow. The start of the season, we all had us down around there. No one thought we were going to get the Champions League, but now it almost feels like we're a little bit victims of our own success in the way that I'm just getting a phone call. In the way that you can be 3rd and again have that massive points gap to 5th, and instead of that being it was incredible that we even had that, and now it's almost like a stick to beat us with that. Oh, it's not good enough now that Man United, with all of their world-class talent, are above you. Or that Chelsea, with their billions of pounds spent, and that Liverpool, I don't even get me to start with Liverpool, win the league and then do what they did. We're above them by 2 points with 8 games remaining, or will be, or thereabouts. Yeah, that's about right. Like that's that. That's not head loss for me. Losing to Wolves that was a disgraceful performance. There's no excuse in that. Bottom of the league, like you didn't show up. That's bad. Where we are now, I'm not angry. I'm a bit frustrated that we haven't held on to that lead. That is a shame. Yeah, but we have another eight games after the break to put it right. So such a long time. How many podcasts is that, Dan? It's a long time.
Too many.
You could lose 4 and win 4 and maybe get in. Like it's such a long time. We can talk about Man United and spend 10 minutes on Man United and say, hey, what's new. But I just feel like sometimes it's like almost like a need to hear that it's all going terribly wrong. Or when we're going well, we're in a title race. There's no middle ground. And as Emery says, you have to have balance with it. You do. You genuinely do. But the balance of which, I'm trying to give, is that we've seen much more positive from the team. And I know it's changed, but you've still got the most important person to the whole thing, which is the manager. He's still here. And we're still, again, having a great opportunity to get back in the Champions League. Something that I don't think anyone expected earlier this season. So, I don't know if people want to be shouting at me for saying all those things or not, but that is just how I feel. I'm not angry about this. It's frustrating that we've lost that gap. But that is all I feel about it,
I won't care that we lost that gap if we still finish top 5.
No, obviously not. I'm saying it more as if we drop out the top 5 now, I will be. I can't swear. I'll be annoyed. I'll be frustrated. But you'll see a bit of fury from me if we fall out of the Europa League. That's a different story. I've made myself clear on that. That's failure.
That could be Friday.
And if it is, don't say that, Dan. You've kind of in my head now that could be coming.
That's the thing, though, isn't it? That you say the Premier League, there is still a long way to go. There's another 2 months.
Yeah. But the Europa League, and this is what I said before.
On Thursday night.
And that's why before the Lille game, I kept saying that's my concern. It's not in the league. I think we'll lose to Man United. We did West Ham. I even said then if we lose the next 2 games, after the break, that's your season in the league. It's after the break. Again, you lose to West Ham. Crisis, meltdown, absolute shambles. You come to the Forest game, right? If we win, we go in the top 5. You
can only win one, West Ham or Lille.
Well, difficult because we can get a draw, can't we, against Lille?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Lille,
obviously.
Of course it is. It's just the way you said it. There is a technicality there that I had to push up on, but like getting knocked out or beating West Ham. Absolutely. I'd take a hammering off West Ham if it meant that you go through in the Europa League. Again, with the context of we then have a break, you reset, you have those games remaining. That's the season. That's it. Beating West Ham would be great. It gives you that bit, that boost again. But if you lose to Nottingham Forest with a gap or no gap, that's crap. Does that rhyme?
Yeah.
That's that. Like, those games of the season, that is it. West Ham, it's a game that we want to try and win. But if we don't,
if we have
to go,
if we have to go to Man City on the final day and get something, you have to just believe we're going to get something. As deluded as it is, same as last year with Man United, loads of people would have gone into that game thinking, we're not going to get anything. But if we did, it would have been done on the final day. So it still can go right down to the final kick of the game on the last game of the season.
Yeah.
Lose a couple, win a couple, draw one, lose a couple, win one. You're in.
I
It doesn't
want
need to be spectacular.
Yeah, I want people to go to Liverpool fan channels, go to Chelsea fan channels, like what we're not necessarily, we're a fan channel, I suppose, but what they're saying is no different to this. We're all in the same sort of headspace
their
about
expectations come with that we spent £500 million in the summer,
and that's the difference. One of them won the league last season. The other one, Chelsea, like they should be in the Champions League every season. That that isn't again to excuse that we shouldn't feel sad about it. Like we should feel happy that we're even here. That's not what I'm saying whatsoever. I'm frustrated. I feel bad about it. But I'm not going to lose my head because it's such a long way to go.
There's a few comments just to wrap up this. How are we feeling about the season? Martin says, you have to remain positive that we will get enough. The blessing is it's a really poor Premier League. So my optimism comes from the others also failing, which, at the moment, that does feel possible. Scott, we've got to stay positive. Otherwise, what's the point of the enjoyment of watching? I mean, we toyed with the idea of doing a whole episode about this, and we might, like, Premier League football full stop. Is it actually fun? Is anyone enjoying any of this? The VAR, horrible fouls, throw-ins, set pieces, crap decisions, referee. Is any of this enjoyable? I don't think it is, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, you do have to stay positive. Kevin says Villa will go on a winning run. I can see it based on the cavalry coming back. Watch and see. Hope you're right, Kevin. And Jim, to end all if, buts and whens and whys. Didn't we go down that road with the last 6 games? Yeah, that's football coverage. I've said this a million times. Every single piece of football coverage is what if this happens? Like Sky are live for 3 hours before kickoff. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if this happens? Some of that will never happen. What if Morgan Rogers gets injured? Well, if he doesn't, that whole, what if? Completely irrelevant. Like that is football coverage. Everything is an if, but maybe. It just is.
Yeah. No, I agree. What
if we lose to Lille? What if we don't?
Well, if we lose to Lille. No, you're right. It comes with that sort of negative connotation with it. Well, what if we lose all those games? But again, like I'm not trying to bring people back years ago, but I will to a point. In my lifetime, this is the best Villa team I've seen. Absolutely.
Yes,
like, without a doubt. This is the best I've ever known it. Why on earth would I be angry, about the situation that we're in? Oh, we're in 4th with 8 games remaining, Yeah, momentum is part of that, to why I don't feel happy about it. But equally, I'm not going to feel the season's done. And the moment that we do and how we feel about that, that's why our home form is going to be crap for the rest of the season, by the way. If we're not feeling happy or feeling energized about it, and that we're just, we know we're going to blow it because it's Villa, well, yeah, then we will.
I hate that.
That's when we are done.
I don't understand.
So my point on that is just quickly, I get frustrated about it, but how do I explain? I can't quite articulate what the sort of feelings I have here, but it's that one of I look to the future with a more positive outlook of, well, you know what, we could do what we need to do because we have a broad amount of information of why in the past that's been okay, Whereas I think if we were to look at it with we're probably going to lose to Sunderland at home, yeah, that might happen. But why sort of infiltrate our thoughts and feelings with just this sort of negatives of like, it's all going to go wrong because it's Villa and because we don't have nice things. Well, again, this is the best period that I've known it. I want to enjoy it, and it's hard to enjoy at the moment, but it's even harder to enjoy if we're thinking in the future of, we'll probably get knocked out to Roma easily. Marlon will score a hat-trick against us, and that we'll finish 6th or 7th. Brentford will overtake us, and who knows, we'll be back in the Conference League. I don't know, like I don't want to think like that, and it's not being blind either. Form ain't been great, but we've proven before that we can turn a corner, literally early this season, and hopefully we'll do it again.
Yeah. There's a few people in the comments talking about a Chelsea transfer ban. It's a ban is suspended over 2 years, meaning that Chelsea will still be able to register senior players if they do not commit any further breaches. So slap on the wrist, 10 million fine, and don't do it again. But whatever.
Doesn't mean anything.
These clubs find a way. Kendrick in the comments. We're still in a really strong position, but we can't escape the negative momentum. I'm a miserable old git, as you know, but it's more than that. Our team need to give us much more encouragement than they have done in recent weeks, regardless of the quality of our opponents. There he is. Look, his little face. And he's Matt Kendrick Claret and Blue is his username. Oh, look at him doing a little YouTube account. That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't have a commenting account thing like Matt.
Because you're on every episode, that's why.
Yeah.
Kendrick, the part-timer. There he is again. Hello. I'm only kidding, Matt. I'll see you for the post-match on Thursday. And Claret and Brew as well, where we'll be talking about recruitment, Matt. So if you want to go and start doing some homework, you can go and do so. Loads of comments in the mailbag about recruitment and the aging squad and stuff. So we'll do a whole episode on that. What's the best flavour of jam? Says Ulysses De La Cruz. I can't be asked to talk about Villa at the moment.
Don't like jam.
I thought you'd say that.
No, I don't remember the last time I had jam. I think, actually, no. I don't know. What have we got that's jam? Is it just berries?
Yeah, strawberry, raspberry.
Nah. What do you put it on your toast? Do you only put it on toast?
Yeah. You know what I'm a fan of, and it's not jam. It's the kind of, I'd say it's the cousin of jam. Marmalade. I have lemon and lime marmalade, which is really nice.
Didn't we have a conversation about this in a different podcast? I can't remember what was said, but I think it was along the lines of what's the difference between marmalade and something else.
No, that was margarine, wasn't it?
I still don't know.
Adam Wright says the Elliott conundrum. Villa have 8 Premier League games remaining, one of which Elliott cannot play in anyway. So call it 7 that Elliott could play in. Elliott can play in 5, I think, more Premier League games before triggering the deal. Therefore, surely there is no reason for him to be fully involved in every squad from now to the end of the season as he was yesterday. Do you think this is now in Emery's thinking as well? What impact could he potentially have? We need to try something different. And after a season of frustration, could this be Elliott's time to shine? I don't know. We've spoken about Harvey Elliott a fair amount, haven't we, this season? Is anything going to be any different now?
In terms of the numbers and how many games left he has to play and stuff like that, I don't really want to kind of like talk about it too much just because there's just a suggestion that it's a very sort of difficult, and I said it before, kind of convoluted deal where it's a certain amount of appearances after this date. And then, so I don't know the in-depths of it. And that's why we spoke about before about actually it's okay for him to play in Europe. That wasn't something that was known before. So I don't want to sort of speculate about actually he's got this amount of games to play when that isn't the case. I don't know. Maybe he can play in the last 5 games, 6 games. I don't know. But that's something that we're going to try and sort of ask around, although it's difficult to do that. Yeah, but if he can play, let's just say that, then yeah, throw him in because we're better off with him probably starting, to be honest, than anything else at the moment. I think we could do with a bit of fresh impetus, but clearly, as we've seen, Emery isn't planning to have him, particularly in his structure or him being that influential. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay. There was a couple I wanted to do in the live chat before we wrap up. There's apologies for those that have sent into the mailbag. I do hope that even if I've not asked your question, we've tried to speak about a few different bits and pieces in this episode. We'll finish from 2. Scott, first of all, genuine question. What would it take in the next 10 league games? There's only 8 left, isn't there? We'll start next season as well. And the Europa League to be disappointed and or genuinely happy. It's not about the specific games, is it, for me? It's the end result. If we get into the top 5, I don't really care how the actual games have gone. If we are crap in most of them but find ways to win and get the points we need, the games themselves and the post matches will be, that wasn't very good, but we found a way to beat West Ham 1-0 and it was pretty frustrating, but whatever. Finish top 5, happy. Win the Europa League, happy. Finish 6th, unhappy. Get knocked out of the Europa League, unhappy. Is it as simple as that?
Furious.
Is there any way that we don't win the Europa League where you go, actually, you know what? Like,
no, the league can. If Villa get in terms of the Europa League, no, we're not in it for fun. We're in it to win it. For the league, we are. Are we not?
It's just funny the way you say it.
Yeah, for the league, that's a successful campaign. If you get in the Champions League, absolutely.
Yeah.
But you've failed on for me, the biggest objective of winning a trophy, which would also get you in the Champions League. At the start of the season, though, I do think finishing 6th would have been viewed by me as a season that would be, that's okay, because finishing the Champions League was this is the best you can do. Finishing one place beneath it can't be viewed as failure. There's no middle ground there. So for me, Europa League was the minimum, I suppose, of an acceptable season, and I think we'll do that. But now, as I said earlier, expectations have changed. Well, expectations have changed to a point where I think most people would view that as a failure now. You know what? I even think maybe that is if we lose to West Ham and Nottingham Forest and then to Sunderland, and in the last 4 or 5 games of the season, we know we're not getting the Champions League. Will people view it differently? I don't know. I don't know if on the final day we miss out and it's viewed as like, we had such a big gap. But if there's an acceptance that we're not going to get it, don't know. Maybe people will just view it different. I have no idea. But yeah, for me, only finishing the Champions League can be viewed as a success from here. And then Europa League was just, if you lose the final, that's still failure. You've got to win it.
Yeah. Yeah. If Villa are in the Champions League next season, this season was a success, whichever way we get there.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Overall, yeah.
Yeah. For the kind of trajectory of the club heading in the right direction, then they need to be in it to.
Yeah. But I'd still be disappointed if we don't win the Europa League,
though. Yeah. And Matt Kendrick says failing to qualify for Champions League is a failure. Qualifying is a success. Win the Europa League and finish in the top 4/5, and I'll get a new wig. So, that meme of what do we do if Alan Shearer suddenly starts on Match of the Day with hair? That'll be Kendrick next season. Is there a plan in place?
Is there a plan with hair? Is there a plan for this? Yeah. Can Matt, for the podcast we do tomorrow, can Matt wear the wig that he bought this morning? Is that, can we agree on that?
Has he bought a wig this morning?
Yeah.
Did he? What?
Yeah, like every other Monday or something, he tends to go to the shop and.
Does it? Good.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Look forward to that tomorrow then. Final question is from Gary. This might require a bit of thinking, actually. What's the biggest mistake Unai Emery has made this season that is not related to injuries?
The biggest mistake Unai has made this season not related to injury? Oh, without Kamara.
So the obvious answer is playing Kamara against Spurs.
Yeah, biggest mistake. I would include him in recruitment.
Yeah.
And for me, recruitment would be that.
That's the biggest mistake, that we just got recruitment wrong.
Yeah, because even if you look at something like, he's played Watkins too much. He's played Watkins too much because he either hasn't had the option otherwise, or even when he does, why is he not playing Tammy? You bring in a striker to play instead of Watkins because he's out of form. And I know he needs a bedding in period, but a very small one was needed probably for the form Watkins has shown. So that's why I'd say recruitment is like an overarching thing of Emery is obviously involved in that, not as much as other managers possibly, but at the same time, this player, we can sign this player. He says yes or no. He's obviously said yes to a few of them. It's not his sole responsibility, obviously, but the players that we've brought in to improve the team just haven't really been that, and we know we've been cash strapped and whatever. Okay, well, maybe in the summer you should have sold a couple more players to raise money, so kind of bleeds into the video we'll do.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. You said the quality of options we have in the team, Emery can only have such an influence in certain areas, but at the same time, he is also involved in that. He's a good enough manager, surely, to identify play. He did it with Morgan Rogers. He did it with Pau Torres, who's played obviously a key role for us in the success we've had. It's definitely something that we should have done better with our recruitment.
I think, and I don't know whether this is the kind of recency bias thing of it's always the answer is always the players that aren't playing. I think whether I'd call it a mistake or not, maybe it's too strong, but committing to Torres and Maatsen more, I think we should have done. This kind of flip-flopping between Mings, Maatsen, Dean and Torres.
Continuity, you mean?
Yeah, just like that. Don't get me wrong, Maatsen and Torres have played in bad moments as well, and then we thought, get Mings in there now, or put Dean back in there, whatever. Just kind of commit to playing through that like we've done with other players that have had poor form, and maybe that is good recruitment to an extent because we have got options there. But I think we're a better team with Torres in. Matson's probably your quickest player. Going back to the pace discussion earlier, at least commit to saying like, this is what we're going to do. These are the players.
Yeah, I do think that there's definitely a weakness in those players from an offensive point of view in possession. Absolutely, they're our best two players in that part of the team. But then defensively, I would be concerned. There's definitely a channel there where they get exposed.
Are we not concerned about Mings and Dean's defensive duties anyway?
Not as much as I would be with Torres and Maatsen in certain points in a game, but that's kind of a different conversation. But I absolutely understand what you're saying, though, in terms of continuity in general.
Dean boots it out for a corner, and then Mings doesn't defend it very well.
Yeah, no, I know.
Maatsen and Torres could have done that, but at least they play going the other way. Do you know what I mean?
No. I get what you're saying, but it's in a 90-minute game. I think we would. There's a clear weakness there. There is. I think both players are weak.
Physically, you mean?
Without a partner next to them is what I'm trying to say. I think Pau Torres, if he has the right players around him, he's not going to be showing up defensively because he's good enough. He's a Premier League defender, but with a left back whose first instinct is to go forward rather than defend, I think that's where you've got a problem. But yeah, I take your point more generally as a maybe not picking the right players or partnerships possibly as well.
Yeah, okay. We'll end with the most recent comment on screen there that says Dan's completely right, which makes a change from being called deluded or arrogant or cocky or whatever. So I'll take that and we'll end there, shall we, before I say anything else stupid.
Quick.
John,
and a comment.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, John, for joining me on this one. An hour and 16 minutes of Aston Villa chat post Man United. We'll be back next with Claret and Brew, which will be talking all about recruitment and our ageing squad and some of the decisions that the club's made over the last 18 months or so.
Ageing podcast.
Looking ahead to the summer. Oh, Kendrick's on, isn't he? So yeah, that works.
Oh,
Wednesday. He's just older than us. That is a fact. Wednesday we'll have a Europa League Lille preview, and then obviously the post-match Thursday as well. So busy week, potentially season defining. And if we lose Friday, John will have a meltdown. So that'll be good.
Don't go there. I'm not showing up.
At least. No, you will be. Thanks to those who watched along live with this episode and joined in with the comments and sent questions into the mailbag as well. Very much appreciated. Thank you for watching or listening to this episode of the Claret and Brew podcast. Thank you, Kendrick, for joining in as well. You cheeky young scamps, he says. And we'll see you on the next one tomorrow. Bye-bye.